What are you going to do? What are all of you lying charlatans that say you give a shit about social justice and racial justice going to do about the murder of Elijah Cummings? You know why he was murdered, right? Election interference. It was election interference in the election in Liberia. But who gives a fuck about Liberia? Who gives a shit about the fact that last year Liberia was trying to engage war crimes proceedings against somebody allegedly involved with timber swaps? But nobody gives a shit about Liberia. I mean, they're like, how far up the food chain are they? Were you just going to tell them to hold on while your lawyers play a bunch of kinky games for all kinds of other derivatives and all kinds of other shit while they degrade and trash communities all over the planet that have their own way of organizing so we can all become one great big happy world? And once we've had enough of our own genetic materials pimped, we might get a buy-in to whatever you've set up in your little diversity spectrum. I'm serious. Elijah Cummings was murdered because he had the same last name as somebody that was involved with the presidential election in Liberia. And because you guys like to play these games where you're going to go save somebody and you get to get justified just totally trashing somebody that doesn't toe the party fucking line, then when somebody decided that they were going to try to take a hit out on the wrong Secretary of State, by the way, he was able to deflect and it hit Elijah Cummings and nobody will talk about it. Nobody will talk about it because you probably have some sort of like delusion in the back of your mind. You don't want to admit, well, we had to make a contribution anyway. We had to make a contribution anyway. And we really thought we would get that. But I mean, you know, it was the time. So nobody's going to talk about how Elijah Cummings was murdered any more than they're going to talk about how you murdered John McCain or how you murdered Beau Biden. Or how you murdered Antonin Scalia. Your movement murdered them in order to get their genes for your gene bank, your genetic bank. Because other people in the rest of the world are supposed to get their biometrics and their blood and their plasma harvested all the fucking time. And rather than exposing this satanic blood libel against everybody, you just want to play some sort of academicization where we're supposed to be confidential, and you're going to give up certain people at certain times to make the buy-in so everybody else gets the what? If you really gave a fucking shit at all, in any way, shape, or form, about anything connected to that fucking Nature Conservancy conspiracy with their timber swap, i.e. your family tree swap, then you would expose who and how murdered Elijah Cummings. Who murdered Elijah Cummings? How did he get murdered and why? But not a goddamn one of you has said anything in a fucking year. No, this has gone too friggin' far. This charlatanism is like way over the line. Certain countries spent 25 years getting destroyed over and over again as part of these debt swaps. How dare anybody think that it is legitimate to talk about trying to sign that shit up again? The entire fucking planet will burn down. You know that? This is so irresponsible. The entire fucking planet will burn down.